Greetings. I'm Evan Swenson. I'm an author and a book publisher. I'm also a member of Author Masterminds, sponsors of Readers and Writers Book Club. Welcome to Readers and Writers Book Club. This is the worldwide online general membership meeting of Readers and Writers Book Club, rapidly becoming the book club destination for all readers of good books. Thanks for being here. Today's membership is represented online by Author Mastermind members and other book club members participating on Facebook Live. I hope you'll find every reader is a friend and every author is approachable. Once again, welcome to Readers and Writers Book Club. Of course, we'll be conversing about books, authors, writing, and the magic and miracle of reading. And we'll have some fun as we award Readers and Writers Book Club branded door prizes available to all book club members. Okay, let's meet today's co-hosts. Marianne Paul's watching the Facebook Live for any comments. We have Steve Levi here. Steve, introduce yourself, and then we'll ask Carl to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Steve Levi, and I am the master of the impossible crime. An impossible crime is a crime where the detective has to figure out how the crime was committed before he can go after the bad guys. And that's, as far as I know, I'm the only one in that genre, and I'm here to answer anybody's questions that you may have.
Thank you, Steve. Carl Douglas, you're alive and well. Tell us, unmute and talk to us. Tell us who you are. Introduce yourself, even though it says somebody else on your computer.
Well, whoever I am a retired neurosurgeon who has been described as writing with gritty realism, and that's what I try to do. I have 32 books of fiction, which would be hard to characterize entirely, except in the general genre of action, adventure, and historical fiction. So what I would suggest to you, in the same light as my friend Steve, you should begin reading all of my books now, and they'll probably last you through the end of the pandemic some 10 years or so from now. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you. Victoria, let's hear from you. You're down there in Southern California. No, not Southern California, but warm California. Tell us who you are and what are you doing. And unmute yourself first, though.
Hi, I'm Victoria Hardesty, and I'm talking to you from Pinyon Hills, California, which is in the high desert, about 70 miles north and east of LA. I live on a horse ranch, and surprisingly, I write about horses. My books have a lot to do with the young people who love Arabian horses. That was the breed that my husband and I got involved with over 35 years ago.
Yeah, thanks, Victoria. Before we introduce the other Author Mastermind members, let's talk to Christina. You're a member of the book club and you have an association with one of these members, Christina. Would you just introduce yourself and talk to us about the book club?
Sure. My name is Christina Shimazaki. I live in Sterling, Virginia, and it's about 45 minutes from Washington, D.C., and close to all the history of the nation. Everything started in my area. My father is Carl Douglas Nielsen. It says Christina, but that's me. And he's been my dad my whole life. And I little joke, but he's amazing. He was an amazing neurosurgeon father, but an amazing author also. And I've really enjoyed getting to know him even better through his books. And I really do enjoy reading. That has been something that I've enjoyed for a very long time, and I'm really enjoying being on here. It's been great and getting to know you.
Thanks, Christina. I've heard this joke, Christina, and so I'm going to ask you about it. It says, you know, when you have something simple to do, often they'll say, well, this doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure this out. Have you heard that at all? Maybe Carl's heard it.
Sure, I have so many stories that would involve that, but you know, if we have time, maybe at some point, but I definitely have a lot of stories that would, yeah.
I bet you do. So Lois, my wife, and I was talking about that today and wondered how come Carl has so much trouble being a brain surgeon getting on the internet.
That is so great. Not everybody's great at everything. As long as you're really good at one thing or two things, yeah. We have technological issues within our family, right, Dad? That's not one of our strengths, or at least for he and
what
I.
you're talking about would take a rocket scientist.
Oh, okay.
I'm
there
just
you
a
are.
neurosurgeon, a cutter and a sewer.
It's like a rocket scientist or an 8-year-old.
Oh,
No,
Christina, thanks, Christina.
8-year-olds can work the machines.
I have a question for Christina.
Yes, please.
Christina, is there a character in any of your father's books that you would describe as defining his alter ego?
Well, his alter ego. I know that there's a character, maybe not to address that, but there is a character that I really think is interesting, funny, and it brings me back, which is the character Grizzly. I know that's not an alter ego, but most definitely that I found kind of humor in that character. And then also, I mean, maybe just Sybil, maybe some of that, because so much as I'm reading about her, I hear a lot of my dad in that, and a lot of the history of our lives and our family. But you know, just I know that it's fiction but it has a lot of similarities in that way. Yeah.
Thank you, because I think the author does bleed through into his characters. And interestingly enough, I think I really enjoy Sybil as well. So thank you for that, Christina.
So is that why you bark once in a while, Valerie?
I never wag my tail.
Rich Ritter from Juneau, Alaska. Are you in Juneau today, Rich? Unmute and we can talk with you.
Yeah, I'm in Juneau.
Yeah. So tell us about Rich Ritter.
Well, my name is Rich Ritter. I am the new voice of the American West and master of edgy historical fiction. I just finished a major work that took over 5 years, Nor Things to Come, a trilogy of the American West. It was originally written as a single novel, but because it clocked in at over 270,000 words, you told me that it was too big and that it would be expensive and difficult to sell. So it was already organized in 3 parts. So we worked it back into a trilogy, which took a lot more work than I expected, but nonetheless, it was a good idea. And that's how it was born.
Rich, how would you describe your author journey from back when the first time you got a concept that you'd like to write something until you actually saw it published and got it out there?
Oh, well, it's been a long journey. It started when I was 45 and I'm 68 now. And so I started writing my first novel at 45. That took about 5 years. And it was the result of a seminar related to a special school that my oldest son was sent to because he was a handful. He was more than a handful. Imagine the worst handful you can imagine and imagine more. And at the end of the seminar, we did a half-day exercise where you're trying to find out what your true purpose was in life. So there were a whole bunch of preliminary events, and then you were supposed to put a piece of paper and a pencil by your bed that night, and then in the morning when you woke up, you were supposed to write the first thing that came to mind, and that was supposed to be your true purpose. And after spending over 20 years as an architect, I did not write down architect, I wrote down novelist. So that's how it started. But I did not give up my day job until retirement a few years ago.
I can understand that. Most writers take vows of poverty and become authors. Mary Ann Paul, we haven't heard from you. Tell us who you are, and then let's talk about the book club.
Well, I'm Mary Ann Paul, and I'm America's Lady of Supernatural Thrillers. And I write thriller suspense with supernatural themes throughout. I don't know what else I need to say. I know, right? Pithy. I'm being pithy.
Well, let's talk about the book club. For the benefit of the members here and online, I want to just show this little, about a minute and a half thing that we're out there talking about right now as far as the book club is concerned, and encouraging people to maybe they'd like to give a gift of the book club to others. So let's just try that right here and show that, and then let's talk about it.
What are we going to get Aunt Emma and Uncle Joe? They have everything they will ever need.
What they don't have is something to do. They've been cooped in their home for months. They're going stir crazy, and no one knows when this COVID-19 pandemic is going to end.
I've got it. The gift that keeps on giving. A book, a really good book. Something to take their minds off COVID-19.
A book? If we buy them a book and they don't like it, then what? It's just another book on their shelf. How can we find out what kind of book they like?
I've got just the gift. A subscription to the Readers and Writers Book Club. Talk about a deal. We can give them a subscription to the book club, and they can purchase books for half price, 50% off on books, and a new free short story by an Author Masterminds author every other day. Mystery, thriller, detective, horses, dogs, faith, Christian horror, and much more.
Now I like that. That's better than a book.
And a lot less money, and an absolutely original, unique gift. And Aunt Emma and Uncle Joe get all those free Author Mastermind short stories, half off on books, and all the other Readers and Writers Book Club members' benefits.
Let's do it. They'll love it, and they'll love us too. Now, about Uncle Charlie.
Buy him a subscription too. Maybe he'll learn something. Readers and Writers Book Club, sponsored by Author Masterminds. The perfect Christmas gift, or for any occasion, season, or reason. Thrillers, impossible crimes, faith, Christian horror, horses, dogs, mystery, aviation, history, dystopia, murders, Christian fiction, science fiction, self-improvement, outdoor adventures, and recipes for murder.
Well, what do you think about a gift subscription to the book club for Christmas? Christina, you're representing a lot of people here today because we messed up on the announcement at the last minute. So maybe if you could represent the book club membership, and what would you think about a gift subscription to the book club?
I think it sounds great. And I especially liked the video. That I thought that was really well done. And it made it made me want to do that, actually, which is what it's all about. But I agree, during this time of COVID and during these difficult times, there's nothing better than a book to read, and a book that is new and interesting. And I heard a lot and I saw a lot of books that interested me on that list that you put up at the end. So thumbs up to that. And yes, I think it sounds great.
Okay, thank you. As authors, how do you feel about personally giving a gift to the book club? How do you think that would work for your ideal readers and maybe you yourself?
Well, I think it's fantastic, is because, like I keep saying, is, you know, when I used to buy books, I would go into the bookstore and I'd spend all this time looking for a book, and I'd get it and I'd spend $17.95 and I'd take it home and hate it, you know. But, you know, with the book club, what happens is I can sit there and I can browse at home. I don't have to worry about spending $17.95 and then being disappointed. So, you know, in that sense, it will save money in addition to being a great gift.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have one. When well, my way is simplistic. If I want something, I'll call up the department store and say, I want a green suit, coat size 42, and then give them my address so they can send it to me. So Readers and Writers Book Club is perfect for me because I know a lot of people who read. I know a lot of people who want to give gifts to a whole bunch of people. And so I can connect them with this offer, and then they can give books. They can do it online, and they not only do they get to avoid the pandemic, but they also can skip the frustration of waiting until December the 24th for buying their gifts. And, you know, another pair of red socks for Uncle Charlie is usually not too well received, but there's no reason on earth why the diversity and the brilliance of the people from Readers and Writers Book Club, the author masterminds, won't find something for your genre. If it's not, then you just take a dart and pick out a genre and you'll be happy. Anyway, that's the way I see it.
Thanks, Carl. Anyone else have a comment about that?
I like the fact that you can go in and read the first whole chapter of the books before you decide to make up your mind whether you want to read it or not.
So Victoria, can you see this as a viable gift, the book club membership, a viable gift for maybe someone on your Christmas list?
Oh, sure. And the fact that the author masterminds write a story every 2 days, that some are in their genre, some are just snapshots of the writer. And the fact that they put this out, you know, it's a short clip, it's not a novel, but it's kind of nice and it's free and it comes with the membership. And so I think the articles are pretty nice. I read them when I get an alert that it's in. I stop everything and go read because they're fun.
All right. So Valerie, you're talking with us. But
how about if I unmute myself?
That'd be good. Yeah.
I agree with Victoria because, you know, there are a lot of amazing, historical, amazing short story writers like Edgar Allan Poe or Flannery O'Connor or Roald Dahl. These people wrote amazing short stories, but guess what? Author masterminds people write amazing short stories. So if, you know, sometimes you just want a short story. And so there's a whole library of them that you can access as a Readers and Writers member. There are so many benefits, 50% off on books and the short stories. And actually, I think one of the benefits to this is joining these worldwide meetings once a month. So there are just lots of benefits. And I think it's a great gift for anybody because it gives them a sample of what it's like, and then they'll want to join themselves.
And I have a good friend myself that you have those friends that you can't think of anything to buy for them because they buy everything themselves, right? Except she's also an avid reader. So this is exactly what I want to get her for Christmas.
Okay, I'd like to hear that. I was just wondering as you was talking, there's three different levels of subscription: a monthly subscription for $3, and a annual subscription $29.95, or a 5-year subscription for $99.95. So what we should do is we should have all of the authors give 100 $3 subscriptions to 100 people. That would, so we'd have a whole bunch of new members at the end of the year. No, that was just in fun. I didn't mean that. But that would be.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So that'd be fun.
Let me make a comment about what you would get from this club. Everybody here are storytellers in one form or another. They're this business of impossible mysteries. They are impossible, and the writer is impossible and weird. And you'll love reading his writing. There is a genre in the midst of Christian horror stories. Now that seems like a oxymoron of some sort, but let me tell you a story about Christina, since she's had enough times to get a few jabs in at me. We were living in Dallas, Texas when I was doing my residency in neurosurgery at Parkland Hospital. At the time, it had the #1 murder rate in the country.
Oh, great.
And it only lost that distinction when they stopped counting black murders as murders. That was before BLM. Anyway, we went. I had a little half-hour off, so I got her in the car and we went down into South Dallas, which is not necessarily safe place for a person of my complexion or Christina's. But to show that she picked up things from what I told her, we went into a 7-Eleven to get a map. And standing in there was a particularly impressive gentleman. He had a purple hat with a red flower. He had a green suit that glowed in the dark. But what was really significant was he had this pair of incredible boots. They were made with patches of almost every kind of leather that you could think of. The only criterion was that they were very, very bright. And so I looked at Christina and I kind of smiled at her. And this is a little girl who did not recognize color. She knew that everybody loved her. And so she walked up to this gentleman and she looked at him straight in the face and said, "Did you pick those boots up new?" And he looked over at me and I couldn't help but just smile and start to laugh. And so he was uproarious about it. And he said, "You work at Parkland, don't you?" And I said, yeah. And he said, "Oh, we love you guys." And I thought that was really good that he loved me, because around him were a group of scarred faces and people who were packing. And he was more than happy to give us the directions on how to get where we wanted to go. And his parting words were, "I think you better ought to get out of here and don't get on Meandering Road again." Anyway, that's Christina's story.
Do you remember that, Christina?
No, I actually don't remember that.
Huh.
I remember a lot of things, but not that one. I must have been really little.
She was too young. Yeah, she was too little. She was a very pretty little blonde, curly-haired girl, and she fit right in there down in Meandering Road.
All right.
Mary Flint had just wanted to say what she likes a lot about Readers and Writers Book Club is that you can read a short story and get to know the author's style. And that's really true. No matter what we write, our style is pretty much present in anything we're doing. So I thought that was a good one. She also said she likes the video.
Oh, that's good. You know, we talked earlier, and some of the authors have seen this little thing written by one of the other author masterminds, and it's the 12 Days of Christmas. And I want to show just a part of it, just to kind of give us a taste of it. And then I'll let you know that if all works out the way it's supposed to, at about the time at this, on the top of the hour when this meeting ends, you should be able to see this video over on the Readers and Writers Book Club YouTube channel. And so you can share that link there to anyone that you would like. But let's just try this and see what happens. First, I need to share my monitor and say it's got sound. That's good. And now I'm going to share this, and I'll just share part of it. And if you want to talk while it's going, it's all right with me too.
We need to say good. That was wonderful. Victoria says she has to leave, so I'm just going to say, let's all say bye, Victoria. She's got to go feed horses.
Let's see.
Bye, sweetie.
Careful, Victoria. Those horses can be dangerous.
Don't
Say
get
that,
stepped on.
Rich. Rich, I didn't hear that. Say
I
it
said,
again.
be careful. Those horses can be dangerous.
Yeah, especially if they're hungry.
Here.
Got to get them fed. Okay. All right. See you guys later.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, let's, any comments about the 12 Days of Christmas before we end the meeting today?
I think it's a great idea, and I'm just saying is that having been in the business to sell gifts at Christmas, I'm telling you, it is a real difficult time because those people you know and know well, you can buy the gifts for quickly. But everybody else, it is a struggle. And there are very few people who will not read something, particularly if it's given to them by someone else. I mean, talking somebody into going to a bookstore and I don't have time, but if they get a book, you know, at least they'll give it a shot. You know, and something like Readers and Writers, not only do you have a choice of one book, you get a choice of a heck of a lot of them. And you can go into Readers and Writers and look at the short stories and just say, you know, I really kind of like the way that person writes. You know, let's go see if he's got a novel. She's got a novel. You know, so I mean, it's really, you're offering a wide selection for $3 a month. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Steve. I think before we leave, I think
I have one more little comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me introduce my granddaughter who helps it so that I can be on the computer. She is less than 86, so she's quite handy about it. Anyway, she is the daughter of Christina Shimazaki. Now, you all got to practice Shimazaki, you know.
Shimazaki.
Hi. I was
How you
on
doing?
earlier, but
You just talk there.
I was on earlier, but on my own device. Yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Buy a book, read.
And
So,
and
have you,
yeah, I
you've been
think
here
it's
all
really
the
cool
time,
that
have
there's
you?
no, I just got here yesterday
No, just
from school.
on the show.
On the,
Where are you going to school?
the show. Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm kind of a little confused, but I was just gonna say that it seems like the 12 days of Christmas thing seems to be really interesting, and the whole book club is a really cool idea. From what I've seen, so it looks really fun. Lots of different genres to look for.
Hey, thank you. Tell us your name. We didn't catch it.
Oh yeah, I'm Madeline.
Madeline. Okay, thank you. So where are you going to school, Madeline?
BYU Idaho, up there in Idaho.
Yes, that's up there where they have Alaska weather quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's known by the locals as BY I do.
Okay. Well, thank you. Christina, we've had Carl and your family, your daughter here. It's been nice. Why don't you just give us a little parting word and then we'll close the meeting.
Me? Did you want me to give the parting word?
Sure, just whatever
Okay.
you'd like to say. This is
So-
your time to talk.
Okay, great. So thank you for having me. Thank you for the good work you're doing. I'm really enjoying this. I am looking forward to participating more, as well as reading more books and kind of getting back into reading. I think that with the crazy schedule that I have in my life, I haven't been doing that as much as I would like, and this is really helping me to do that. And so thank you for that. I also enjoy my dad's books, and I am grateful that he is such a prolific writer. And I look forward to reading all of your books also. I especially like historical fiction. Was that who was that? Was that Mr. Ritter? Is that, yeah.
Rick Ritter, yeah.
That I like them all, but that's one of my favorite things. So I'm interested in that. So thank you for sharing this time, and I appreciate being here.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate you being here. But I'm really grateful that you're here and representing the club and the other author masterminds. It's been fun. Before we leave, of course, we'd just like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, happy and safe Thanksgiving. It's a different world that we're in right now than it was last year at Thanksgiving time. But I just trust that all is well with each of you, and we'll continue on through the season and on into Christmas and the new year. So, but I just say to the readers and writers, members and the authors, to just keep in touch.